This is End of Infinity talking. Everything in this life has made it so you do not trust your intuition. Everything that you consume, that you see, that you experience in your life has been designed so that you do not trust your intuition. Your intuition is one of your closest things to God. It is your one-pointed star, because the direction that that star aims at is nothing else but source. And that's why everything that you see, consume, watch, hear, experience in the outside world has been specifically made to cut you off from this direct link to God, from this channel to God. This world has made human beings believe that there needs to be a reason for knowledge. I'll say that again because I pause on my finger in my eye. This world has made human beings believe that there needs to be a reason for knowledge. This world has made logic its God. This world claims to be atheist, but it is not atheist. It is very much theistic. And the God that this world worships is logic. It's the rational mind. It's reason. It's money. Most of all, it is material. Never be fooled by believing that this society, which claims to be atheistic, is actually an atheistic world, because everyone believes in something. And the world that has convinced you that it doesn't believe in a God has simply made something else its God, and it worships it nevertheless. Because even though humans purport to worship reason, their loyalty to reason is not because of reason. Okay? Let me say that again. Even though human beings pretend to worship reason, their loyalty to reason is unreasonable. Their loyalty to material and the material world is an unreasonable one. They will trick you and try and convince you that the world is the way it is because this is the most reasonable and logical way for the world to be. If you look and make your own examinations, you will see that every single thing you see now about your current state of reality is simply the mood that the world is in. What do I mean when I say mood and the mood that the world is in? Well, there was a point when the world was in the mood of silencing women and never letting women have any say or opinion. There was a point when the world was in the mood of conquering and pillaging other countries. The world is still in that mood, but they do it silently, so you don't think that. And, they make it seem like all is trade and peace. It's still being conquered in a silent way. There was a point where the mood of society was that you took what you wanted to take through power and strength, and you could pillage and molest and do worse, okay? There is now a mood that men are trash, okay? If all of these things are moods, then the mood that reason is the highest God, and by reason, I do not mean spiritual reason and understanding. By reason, I mean human, limited rationale and logic, okay? The current mood of the world, then, is that this logic and this rationale is God. And if you are seen to have any link, any connection, I won't call it faith, because many people can hear and feel God. If you have any link to something that cannot be seen, you're crazy. And this world is doomed because of its decision, which was an emotional one, okay? Religion was steered so heavily in its dogma, in its desires to get human beings into line in its rules that it made the masses follow, okay? Religion went so far into its dogma that it became unreasonable, and it became a method to entrap and enslave humanity. Because of this heavy lean to one extreme, humans have emotionally reacted to the intensity of the dogma of religion, the strictness of its rules, and they have bounced in the complete opposite extreme, because the current world that you see as reasonable and rational, okay, this materialistic world is simply an extreme where all things sacred and spiritual are completely denied. Why are they completely denied? Because the unreasonable force of religion and the rules and the dogmas and the methods it used to control was so strong. Humans have now bounced to the opposite extreme. There was a time when men didn't want to let women speak, okay? Because men have now abused this, or because men then abused this, we now live in a time when men feel like they can't say anything because it will be misogynistic or anti-feminist. We've now bounced to the opposite extreme. At first, men thought they were the be-all and end-all, and now women think that they don't need men, and it's all, oh, we hate men, we this, men this, men that, you know? Men are useless to society. I won't go into that because it's another topic, but all humans do is bounce from one extreme to the other. And we went from this, this extreme where everything was, punishable by death from this God, to where do whatever the fuck you want because he doesn't exist. This is a reaction. So what seems reasonable to you is unreasonable. What seems logical to you is illogical. What seems rational to you is irrational. Because humans, as much as they pretend to be functioning, running off the engine of logic, they are running off of the engine and steam of emotion. And they will always hide that from you. Okay? Emotion is the reason. Intelligence and rationale is simply an excuse, a get out of jail free card, and foreplay. Two people see each other. Those two people who see each other know that they're interested in each other. In fact, they've already decided that they're going to come together in a union. All conversation before that point, okay, is an excuse, is a get out of jail free card so the person doesn't look too frivolous or promiscuous, and it is foreplay for a truth that has already been emotionally decided, which is that these two people, for reasons inexplicable, no matter how hard the human will try and explain it, want each other. So let's get back to intuition then. We've established that, or I've told you that you do not need a reason for knowing the things you know. Don't believe me? I'll prove it to you. Do you know how your heart beats and pumps the blood around your body? No. Do you know that it does? Yes. Are you the one doing it? Yes. Are you the one doing it? No. You are doing it most certainly, okay? Because no one else is beating your heart. Okay, it's you, Andrew. It's you, Max. Okay, it's you, Megan, who is beating your heart. But it's not your rational mind. It's not your logical mind. It's not this limited, biased, subjective experience that's doing all of these things for you. But guess where you think out of every single second of every day? This place, okay? You genuinely think that you are Mark. I keep naming names with M, so I'm gonna say consistent, because fuck you and fuck me too. You think that you, Mark, are the one doing anything because you live out of this place, okay? Yet this thing that you worship as God, which is just your biased perspective, your mind, your thinking mind, is no part of the equation, even though you're under the dream that it's everything. You are under the dream that your thinking mind is your controlling force, when your thinking mind does not, okay? Because I'm beating my own heart, and so are you. But it's not your thoughts, it's not your intelligence, it's not your rationale. There is nothing that your IQ, logic, or intelligence could do to perform all of the functions simultaneously that you perform in your own body. You actually are quite useless, because your body does so many things, innumerable things, simultaneously in your body, that if you tried to take the steering wheel of, you would collapse and die in 2 seconds, okay? If you were the one who had to actually try to pump the blood to your, to your arteries, bring it back through your veins. At the same time, your kidneys are processing everything, your intestines breaking down, digesting things. You would not be able to do all of that at one thing because the thinking mind is limited. It can only do one thing at a time. This limited thing is where you are consciously most of the time because you are asleep. 10 minutes into this video, we now get to intuition, because intuition is when you know things that did not come from your thinking mind. I have now told you that your thinking mind is limited. You worshipped, I'm using past tense, you worshipped your thinking self as a god. You genuinely thought that this was the thing that took you all of the places in life that you wanted to go. Yet, just like your heart beating, all of the good places that you have ended up in your life have been because of miraculous circumstances that genuinely had no conscious control of you, but lined up in a spectacular, miraculous way. You don't want to admit this, but if you genuinely don't want to be a part of a life in a world where you didn't have absolute control, the option is always suicide. Because the truth is that no matter how hard you worked for a job, you were hired at the job by someone else for reasons outside of you. It's the same for your continued existence right now and the beating of your heart. For so many reasons, endless and listless, the truth of this world, the highest of heights, the true knowledge, truth itself, comes from these places that are beyond the claws and the reaches of simple intellect, of rationale, of reason, the thinking mind. Everything in your life that has been true is beyond this. And you are in touch with this divine mechanism. This divine mechanism is called intuition. So sometimes, and I know you know I'm telling the truth, bitch, you will know things about people. You will know things about your relationship. You will be warned about things and you have no fucking idea why. And you constantly try to act like you know why you had your intuitive moment. You constantly try and act like there's a rational reason why you just know he's cheating on you. There isn't. You felt it. Why you just know that that person is a bad vibe, that something bad's going to happen, that someone doesn't have your best interest at heart. Whether you listen or you doubt it, your intuition always gets proven right. You know I'm telling the truth. This thing called intuition then always ends up being consistent, always ends up being right. And sometimes you listen to it and sometimes you don't. Therefore, the consistency is not in the divine revelations of God. The fault in consistency lies in you listening to God's perfection or you doubting it. That's why your life is inconsistent. If you were then to follow your intuition to a perfect degree, you were to enter perfect surrender and always follow this stream of God, your life would always be correct. Your life would always go where you foresaw. In fact, it would go even greater because the universe loves you and God loves you. The only reason your life is a somehow life, the only reason your life is a 50-50 life of some good, some bad, some successes, some failures, is because you listen to your intuition sometimes and ignore it sometimes. Sometimes you're certain, other times you're nothing and you're in doubt. All the while, you are the same you. You are the same Mark, Max, Megan, Martin Luther King. You're the same one. But you don't quite know. I say you don't quite know because there is no logical reason why you have the intuitions that you have. And so you feel guilty sometimes for being so sharp. You feel guilty sometimes for knowing the things you know without knowing why. Because this entire world has told you that you need a reason to know the things you know. You don't, my dear. When there is a person, when you listen to your intuition faithfully, when you surrender and submit to the essence of God and the voice of God, what do your friends and family say? You're crazy. If you cannot provide a reason for why you know the things that you know, You will be labeled by society, your friends and family, the main ones, as crazy. Thus, you can't be blamed for being a somehow human who only sometimes listens to the voice of God. Because every single thing in this world has been pushing you away. Therefore, it can be said that every time you have listened to your intuition, my love, you have been very brave. You've been a shooting star, a shining star in heaven. You're not consistent in it yet, but this is a human journey from human to divinity because we are made in the image of God. You're labeled crazy by your friends. And even if you do end up listening to your intuition that time, and even if you do end up being proven right, which you always are, and your friends and family can see that you were proven right, you will still feel guilty and you still will feel like you were crazy. So oftentimes you won't do it again. Why? Not because you doubt your intuition now, but because your intuition has received so much backlash because it cannot be justified in human explanations. You don't want to face that resistance again. You don't want to use that method again. You don't want to go through that challenge and that hell again. Thus, you end up in this anyhow life where you sometimes succeed and you sometimes fail. You sometimes listen to your intuition and you sometimes don't. There are so many ways in the media in which people who are in tune with their true sense, their sixth sense, their intuition are labeled as the crazy one, the junkie, the idiot, the oddball, just the wacko one. And oftentimes when there is any person spiritual in the media, they will then be made in the media to do very stupid things. So even if you were inspired by their intuitive self before, you then begin to realize, oh, I should be nothing like that person because that person's a nut job. So that's how the media gets you. They'll make someone very spiritual, right? Have crystals, have this, be in touch with themselves. And then they'll make that person say the stupidest, most unnuanced, out of touch things, right? The most irrelevant things in the conversation. And then you think, because they've clearly been shown to be such a joke, I shouldn't copy anything about them. And that's how the media makes you drop intuition, drop spirituality, drop actually hearing yourself, because the people who do have some of these traits experience some very, very, very stupid and retarded traits. And you don't want to be anything like them. And it's always the cynical, skeptical, fucking loser who is one of the main characters and who is always right. Yeah, the fucking Big Bang Theory, Friends. It's always the snarky one who has the most sense and who is worshipped in that TV show. So in this society, that type of person is worshipped as well. All the cards are against you if you are not a material person. But if God is for you, then who can be against you? Who, my dear? It cannot be said that it is your fault for not listening always to your intuition. Hey, you.
I've done it.
She's done it.
Made my video.
She's made her video.
Do you see how long I do this for? Roxy?
I'm making a video.
Oh, are you making a video?
Yeah, you're in it now.
Oh, really? I thought you were just on the
Nope. It cannot be said that it's your fault for not always listening to your intuition. When you have, you've received backlash. When you haven't received anything. You see, the world will not attack you when you are silent to the God within you. The world will not attack you when you don't listen to your truth. Because then everything you're doing could be seen by them, could be measured by them. Notice how when everything that you're doing can be seen and measured by people, you're also very controllable by them. You can never get ahead. You can never get one up because everything about you is predictable. Everything about you is visible. So that's why there's no backlash for only listening to the slowest mechanism in your mind, which is your stupid, biased, subjective, rational thinking mind. If you ever cut ahead and listen to the voice of God, which needs no reason, which needs no explanation, which needs no fucking logic, you will be attacked, you will be scorned, you will be bashed, okay, and ridiculed at every single angle because now you are beyond the dimension of human control. You are beyond the dimension of manipulation by humans. You'll be attacked. There's so much I want to say to you in this video. There is so much I want to talk about. There is so much I want us to do. And yet, this alone is enough for you to be able to guide yourself, be able to see yourself, be able to listen to this one pointed star that always goes in one direction. That direction is aimed at God. That direction is always and consistently aimed at the essence, the divine essence of the universe. There is perfect consistency in God. There is perfect consistency in the universe. The only inconsistency is the rate at which you listen to the voices in your heart, which need no explanation for the things that they have told you, which need no evidence, no backing. The evidence is the voice. The justification is you hearing it. The reason is the feeling. Every human in your life will attack you when you become someone who follows your intuition. That's because the second you do, you become beyond the dimension of manipulation. You become beyond the dimension of control, beyond the dimension of hate. This backlash then that you face will make you an enemy to the world, but a friend to God, a friend to the universe. And if God is for you, my dear, who can be against you? You know that every single person who has reached the highest heights in life has been an oddball, has been out of the box, has been quirky. Because humans are taught in a particular way. They lie to you and pretend that this way is the way because it's the most advantageous. No, the system is made the system because if you remain within the walls of the system, everything you do can be predicted. Everything you do can be foreseen by other humans who it is not in their interest to let you be above them. So you do the best in school, you do the best training, and all you end up is the best student, you know? The best person at drama school, never the most famous actor in the world. The best musician at the music school is never the artist that billions listen to. Because the ones who reach the highest of heights do not know how they know the things they know, do not know how they possess the talents they do not know how they attune to the rhythms of God. Because every single thing that the greats are functioning on are things not of this realm. Whether they admit it to you or not, they listen to their intuition. And every single time you have listened to your intuition in your life, you know this, you have been right. And every single time you have not listened to your intuition, you have still been right. And silently, after seeing that you were right all along, you regret it. Why do you not listen to your intuition next time? Because you know that if you say things that you do not have a reason for saying, your friends will attack you. Your family will call you crazy. Your teachers will call you misled. Not wanting to face resistance from who you see to be your family, you make yourself small. All the while, every truth that you already know about life passes you by, and you begin to be someone who doubts yourself, and you begin to become someone who thinks that they don't know things about life. You genuinely believe that you don't know. And it's because you've let this materialistic, physical, rational world convince you that you need a reason for knowing the things that you know. What you know, God already knows. What God already knows, He tells you. You and God are one. I love you. Be fruitful always.